Hey guys, so I'm right here messing with this pedal chain right now. We've got the CAE wah, MXR sugar drive, and the fuzz face. Pretty much what I'm using right now basically is going to be the AC15 over here, stock with a greenback. We got all the controls at about 1 o'clock and a top boost and volume at 12 o'clock with master at around 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to like keep it down, but mainly what I want to showcase here is the MXR sugar drive and this complement of chain setup. A lot of people like their wah and their fuzz, and they like to set it up before the fuzz for the sound. But having said that, sometimes I really do feel there is a need for a buffer in between these two, as you can have some impedance issues. Luckily enough, right here we got the MXR sugar drive. I can easily switch between buffer and true bypass, and the benefit of this for these tests is I will be able to instantly on the fly switch between buffer and true bypass and show you how this affects your signal between a wah and a buffer. A lot of players like to say that a buffer and a wah, a fuzz doesn't like a buffer before it. But honestly, they sound pretty damn good, in my opinion. Both sound really good. There's no reason why you should... There's reasons why you would prefer one over the other, but there's no reason why you should say one's the best over the other. Both have their places. Both have a place for many players. And it's very important to consider both options for your rig. For this setup, I will be using a set, like I said, my Classic Series 60s 2018 Pal-Ferro board stock. A stock AC15, torn Tolex, controls at 1 o'clock on the top boost. We got the tone cut at 1, bass and treble at 1. We got the volume at 12 o'clock and the master set back at around 8 o'clock, so we can manage these levels for the microphone and record well. Great amplifier. I love this thing. It's been through a lot. As you can see, the Tolex, this is ripped a bit. The speaker's fine and everything, very well. That's the only part that's very well broken in. But I'm also going to be using BT Pro Audio patch cables right here. These are some of their makes. They cost $18 a cable. These use the CA0678 cable, which is a miniature version of this cable right here. The CA0446, it's just this right here is just a miniature version of this BT Pro Audio cable. Great sounding cable, great specs. I highly recommend anybody looking for some good cable solutions use these. If you could order the spool and make them yourself, even better. These are using SP400 plugs, and like I said, it's the CA0678 cable, miniature version of the CA0446. That being said, let's get with the shootout between buffer and true bypass. So let's see how that fuzz sounds without the wah. So that's a fuzz right now with everything in true bypass. Now let's see how that sounds, that same fuzz with a wah on top of it. So that didn't sound too bad. And I actually like that sound. It sounds great. I can see why other players like True Bypass. Now, let's switch to buffer mode and see how that affects the signal. Now I'm going to use the wah, everything, no fuzz, and just buffer. Now let's see how a fuzz sounds with a buffer in the chain. So that's just fuzz with a buffer in the chain. Now let's see how a wah affects that fuzz with a buffer in the chain. So that didn't sound too bad. That sounded pretty good. Both of them sounded really vocal, very swelly in a good way. And I have to say the buffer did sound a tad more smooth when it came to handling the fuzz in general. And I have to give a toss-up between the two sounds. The buffer may have sounded a little bit too warbly, and the True Bypass may sound a little bit more clear, but I would say the buffer sounded a little bit more smoother and not as splattery, I would say, but they both sounded good. And whenever you're using a wah and a fuzz or anything like that in your chain, you want to be conscious of the fact that having a buffer or True Bypass before your fuzz affects the sound. So keeping that in mind, I hope this video helped in making your decision or helping you decide how you should set up your chain. And having said that, thanks for your time and cheers.